Right. So before I invite my lovely panelists up, I'll give you a bit of a backstory, actually, because those of you who haven't yet seen my wonderful TED Talk, please do, because it's very important you do. Not for me, but for the message that it conveys. I didn't start my career in technology. Surprise to say and surprise to hear. This is my fourth industry, in actual fact. The closest I got to working in tech was where I was a headhunter internationally. And I set up the Dell team, actually, in Moscow. They didn't have a division there, so we headhunted from HP, actually, and other places. But I didn't know anything about tech. And I think that this is very important. We live in a world where innovation is incredibly important. We rely on technology literally every day of our lives. And I think that what we're hearing today is some great technology, some great innovation. We need to be more open-minded, less elitist, and we need to start focusing on the human factor. And that's really why I've got this slot, because I'm not a techie, right? Firstly, I'm not going to bore you with product knowledge. But at the same time, it is about the ethical use of technology that we have today. You know, we are so desperately in need for fast pace and immediate impact. We want pizzas now. We want a date now. We want everything yesterday. But what we're not realizing is that the future potential of that could be massively harmful. So I'll invite my panelists up, please. Penny, Donovan, and Hayley. And the subject of this particular talk, as you well know, as you've probably read, is that controversially, I'm not a massive fan of tech. Okay, I don't like it in certain situations. So I love it for things that we can advance the world on. I hate it because it's actually dehumanizing humans. Okay, it's dehumanizing our communication. And we are, unfortunately, falling into this trap of, because we can get things quickly, means that we don't have to integrate and we don't have to communicate quite the way we used to. And that's a real frightening factor. I see it in my kids, I see it in their friends, and I'm really concerned. So the unpopular opinion here is, I don't like technology, and I want to know what these three lovely people think about that. So I'll do some introductions. Penny Williams is the VP Sales, UK and International for CDW. Donovan Hutchison is the MD UKI for SHI. And Hayley Mooney, can't see it right down the end there, Hayley, is the MD for Crayon in the UK. So these wonderful people who've got illustrious careers in technology, I'm going to pose the question to you. I'm not a fan of technology. I'm not a fan of the metaverse. I'm not a fan of having dates online, having an avatar and trying to connect as humans in an avatar form. What do you think about that? I'm going to come to you first, Donovan. And have you had any experiences with this?
Yeah, so I've got differing views on this, mainly because I think that with the technological advancements, we've become more impatient as individuals, as humans, as also Colin alluded to. I think having everything on demand has made us impatient. But I also think, in addition to that, it's also helping us. There's disadvantages also in the fact that we've become, we've lost a lot of social skills as well. But I think the advantages as well kind of balance out the disadvantages. I think having access to be able to communicate more freely, openly across the globe, it's made the world a lot smaller than what it actually is. So being able to discuss things with individuals, I'm not sure what happened there, but discuss things with individuals rather than having to send pen and paper through the post. I think that's certainly made things move a lot quicker. So a lot of the industries have been able to grow a lot faster than they typically would in the past. So yeah, I'm kind of on the fence. I think good for technology and also bad for technology. I think you talked about the metaverse very briefly. I actually like the metaverse. And the reason for that is, if I give you an example, in the education sector, predominantly, there's a lot of children who are still developing their skills. And what I found, especially, I've got two daughters, and one of them is completely obsessed with the metaverse and gaming. and we do a lot around esports. And esports allow those children who are typical introverts to come out their shell, to learn new skills, new languages. So when I look at my daughter and I think, actually, you shouldn't really be playing games, there's a purpose behind it of why she's playing games. She's learning more skills. She's actually learning new languages. So she speaks Spanish. She also speaks French. She's not learned that at school because she's studying German. So there are some positives when it comes to the metaverse. I also think in the healthcare industry specifically, the metaverse also allows us to look inside the human body without actually having to enter the human body. So fairly balanced views.
No, I totally get it. I think education's great. What do we do with the educational languages? We're going to talk to avatars. We're going to talk to real people. Hayley, your opinions.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a similar opinion, to be honest. I am mixed about it, and I guess I can break it into business and personal, I think, from a views point of view. So from a business perspective, I work for a global company, and I have the opportunity to talk and see all of my colleagues every single day. And I think, without the technology there, we wouldn't collaborate and be the successful business that we are today. So from that perspective, the enablement, the ability to interact with people across the globe is really quite significant. From a personal perspective, I have two boys, so they are FIFA obsessed, Roblox obsessed, and they live their life on their computers as much as they possibly can and are allowed to. So I think from my perspective, in COVID, they got to talk to their friends every day because they were online. So they still got a little bit of that interaction that we also desperately missed. But I do think long term, you have to maintain some staples. And I have some real kind of core rules at home where we don't have device time. And we have to really focus on that. And we look kind of down the line and you've got to encourage that in them young now so that they maintain that and they pass that on to their kids, because otherwise sitting down at a dinner table without your phones is not going to be there anymore. And that's what's really sad about it. You really got to try to maintain some of your traditions in the family, to bring that community together, to make sure that they pass it on to theirs.
Brilliant. Yeah, we are hardwired for connection, so we need to keep doing that. Penny, you've got two daughters, haven't you? And running a very successful business. So what's your take on this?
First of all, I've just got to say I was so delighted. There's some couple of people that are as old as me in this audience, and that was Colin and John. So I've been in this business for 34 years plus.
Doesn't she look well on it, though?
This gentleman just said I look better in the flesh than I do with my picture. He's my best friend.
Wow.
Census, rocket, yeah. I'm loving it. So yeah, I've been around for a very long time. Technology, okay. Well, let's just call it computers. What was the promise? What was the promise to all of us here? And it was to create more time and less work. That was it. That was the simple truth. Now, I think we might have failed, because I know off the back of the pandemic that my productivity, CDW are getting their money's worth out of me. They really are. I'm on, Rachel's sitting here, who is my other half, my EA, who I adore. And she keeps going, this is ridiculous. Do you know the hours that you're now pulling in? You've got to pull back, because like WebEx, Colin, I don't like WebEx. I do love Teams, but then it's also cursed. I also work for a global organization, and be careful what you wish for, because they're ringing me all the time. And it comes on your phone and you go away. I don't want to speak to you today. It's the weekend. And that's the problem. So we have got to get the balance. You're absolutely right. Like you, I met Hayley's wonderful daughter, Daisy, and we were talking tech, and Daisy said, I don't want to work in tech. My daughters are 28 and 24. Both of them said, I don't want to work in tech. I see what you do. Guess what? They're both working in tech. Both of them. And they say there is no other industry like tech. because it's the pace, it's the excitement, it's everything, the bits that we love that they see. But it's my last bit is keeping the balance.
Like everything in life, balance is really hard, isn't it? When we get, it's very seductive, the bits that we're pulled into. So Colin alluded to the osmosis that we experience in an office environment. That's incredibly important. I mean, we can't often legislate for how important that is. You know, if you ask a quick question, someone's there. You've got to book in a Teams appointment after you've booked in 10 minutes to go to the loo. You know, it's very, very rigid. We as business leaders, business owners, we have a duty of care, in my opinion, to actually start to protect the next generation and the next generation after that on this human factor. Whilst we are absolutely wanting to encourage the use of technology, and I absolutely want to encourage more people to get into technology as a career, what is it that we can do in our roles to help protect that real human element, the real human connection, the integration that we have with people? Penny?
As leaders, we set the example. So I live in Leicestershire, but I am in London Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or I'm in Manchester. I travel, I'm physically there. I'm physically there caring about our business and our teams. And it's funny, I was at Canalis and a disty said to me, I won't mention the disty, it wasn't you. Another disty said, Pen, how do you do this? You've got the busiest office in London. We go to all your frenemies and they don't have the same, it's just not, they're not as full. I said, because we're there. And we're physically there. And if I'm not there, then, you know, Teams the curse, but you're talking. I don't like to send long emails. I like to call people. I'm always on the phone. Just be physical. People are lonely.
Are we frightened to use the phones nowadays? I feel like we're a little bit sort of...
No,
I
love using the phone.
So do I.
Next gen.
Mobile phone calls are the best. Anyone want to talk to me, just call me on my mobile.
See, I think that I couldn't agree more with Penny. I think it's extremely important to lead by example. Much like Penny, I also travel across the UK, and I think by doing so, you see a chain reaction of other people wanting to be in the office to collaborate with one another. We don't want to lose that human interaction, so we would never go fully hybrid at all. In fact, what we try and do is we try and create events that bring people into the office. Colin mentioned about like what Softcat were doing in terms of trying to entice people into the office by breakfast and stuff like that, and making it a fun environment. And I think that as leaders, we have a duty to be able to do that, not only to get the employees to collaborate more, but also from a mental health perspective, it does actually help to have that face-to-face human interaction more than it being virtual, because many people who work at home full-time tend to be quite isolated. Yes, they've got access to technology, but they are somewhat isolated. So when it gets to 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening, and maybe they live on their own, who are they going to talk to? And it's just very digitized, the way that they communicate, which is not great.
Not human.
No. I think we probably talk from a real sales kind of perspective, and in our business, we've got 50% technical consultants as well. And they do have a different way of working and a different approach to things, but they are still driven by community as well. And that's what's really interesting, because we've got 120 data scientists across the globe, and they are in big pockets, Europe, APAC and US. And we tried initially to recruit, in individual countries, and we lost people. We couldn't retain them because they needed that community to work. They work together, play together, develop together. Everything has to happen in this kind of, united group. And so we decided to create the Centre of Excellences, and that's our approach to recruiting and retaining these people as well. So even on the technical side of it, they still have that community drive, and they need that one-to-one interaction with people face to face.
Yeah, let's not forget, I think community is something that we are again hardwired to want to involve. We're trying to find all of the things that we need from that community, sometimes in a very small amount of people, and it does reduce your world, doesn't it, from a technical point of view? So, do you turn off your devices in the evening, guys?
No, but we do put them away. So we do have rules in the house, particularly Sunday afternoons. We have family over, and the phones have to go away. And I do try to make sure my kids put their devices down before they go to bed, you know, with a bit of time in the middle for them to wind down on it. But it is really hard, and you have to lead by example, as Penny said, right? You know, you've got to set the boundaries and be really strict with yourself. So I think we could all do better in our house on that, but we do try to have device-free time. Yeah.
I definitely don't turn off. I think I got completely addicted with the old BlackBerry. When you used to have that, do you remember the red light flashing?
Do you know he's only 22 years old?
Yeah. But I definitely got addicted at that point, and I got to a point where I could literally type an email while sleeping, and that was scary. Right now, I can actually do it with an iPhone, which is even scarier. I do switch off my phone in terms of the sound. I don't switch off my phone. But what I have learned to do is keep my work phone in the kitchen when I go to bed, so that I'm not disturbed during an evening, because being part of a global company, you're getting hundreds of emails throughout an evening. But then I'm still addicted to my personal phone. TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn.
It's like admin. isn't it?
But for me, that allows me to rest. I definitely think that we need to remove technology. I think we've become victims of technology to some respect, and get a better work-life balance.
I only know the answer before you even open your mouth, but you don't turn it off, do you? No. Okay. Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'd love to say I
I
did
know.
and lived in Happy Clappy, Norway or somewhere, but I just don't. I just don't. It's just,
No offence to anybody from Norway.
yeah, anyone from Norway. No,
No.
it's fine.
I work for a Norwegian business. They do. They literally leave on a Friday afternoon, go to their cabins, and switch back on a Monday morning. It's a fact. It is a wonderful way of life. I'm
was
very
at a-
jealous of it.
Do you know, I've been at a conference Monday and Tuesday, and I was with a Norwegian guy, and he went, yeah, we do, I think, Highgate here. We work a 4-day working week, but we've been doing it for years. And I was starting to twitch and go, how do you do that?
Yeah,
I'm not
big
that
pressure.
smart.
So what do you think the future is going to look like then for communication and technology as we use it? I mean, what do you think? Let's fast forward another 20 years, okay, in the channel as we know it. How are we going to communicate? What's it going to look like? Give me a picture. Give me an overall picture, Hayley.
It's difficult to say, isn't it? But the VR piece is huge, right? That augmented reality, that kind of in-person meetings. If you think about it from a business point of view, you're not going to be on Teams anymore. You're going to be in a room virtually somewhere, which is going to be entertaining to say the least. But I just think it's really difficult to say. You know, I think we as a generation have to work really, really hard at maintaining that balance and making sure that it doesn't take us over. There's so many benefits to it, yet there are so many reasons why we don't also need it as well. So, yeah, I mean, I think VR will change the game, you know, and particularly will lead the way from a tech point of view, right? You know, it'll be our industry that goes first on that. You know, we've already hosted a GM summit in the Oculuses. So yeah, weird. So you know, it is going to make life really, really different. And I think that education will probably adopt some of that as well, you know, and we'll see that coming through from the kids. You know, Hayley, I've got a real thing about the education piece as well around kind of, you know, the learning. And, you know, I was at the Women in Tech Festival last Thursday, and they said there was a young lady in there, and she said that, you know, she's actually doing VR learning on her lunch break. She went to some fancy private school, but, you know, they have actually got her engineering in virtual reality at school. Oh, it's insane.
I love that idea, though.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite scared about it, to be perfectly honest. So I think that we're already losing so many social skills, and it's hard enough trying to get people out there to meet with other individuals face to face. I think with COVID and also with advancements in technology, people want to meet more over Teams, and it's very regimented. It's very calendarized. Your entire life is based on a calendar of appointments. Ultimately, even with your local GPs, you know, everything's online and moving to online. So I'm quite scared about it. I think the cartoon film WALL-E is a prime example of where we're leading to. I think as you bring technology to individuals and more technology, we're just going to become lethargic. We're going to become, just, I don't know. I think we're killing our world with it, to be honest.
Worrying. Penny?
My God, I'm doomed. Right. What can I say? I think, after 34 plus years, I'll just go and live on an island.
Penny will look the
and
same
fish.
in 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll keep rocking up. No, it terrifies me. It terrifies me because I'm a very people person. That's how I've run my businesses. That's how we've been successful. And it does terrify me. And again, I'm going to use that word, the balance.
Yeah. I would have got here a lot faster with one of those hover scooters, by the way, from Wally. So I quite like that in some respects. But I think you're right. I think there's extremes of human behavior, though, remember. So the fitness thing, people are extreme on. They'll use technology to advantage, but it's physical. I'm also incredibly concerned. But this is why I think we should all be very much morally aware and ethically aware of how we utilize that connection for the wrong reasons, for laziness, for complacency. I was actually sat on a leadership course the other week and sat with a consultant cardiologist, and she said she loved it that she was able to use VR to experiment and do different operations. She hated it because she had no patient interaction. And that, you've got to listen to each patient is very, very different. There's idiosyncrasies of every single case. And she said, we don't get that. We don't get that. And of course, there's a lot of data you've got to put into these things to get it out. And often that comes from having that interaction with patients. So she didn't get that. So that's quite frightening. So, okay, let's spin it up into a bit more fun. So, well, sort of fun. If you could leave a legacy, right, what would it
I didn't like this one.
Okay. Go on. What is it going to be?
Well, if I wouldn't leave a tech legacy, put it that way. Okay. So I've mentioned it already, we have got to instill our traditions into our children, right? Because otherwise they will never know what it's like and they will never ever be able to teach their kids. So if we're going to maintain anything from a generational point of view, it's got to be our family traditions, sitting around the table, eating, talking together, not being caught up on devices. I would much prefer to have my family remember me for something like that rather than something that's fancy tech.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I would concur as well. Every Sunday I do a Sunday roast and bring the family around. And there's no technology, but I think if I could leave a legacy, it's one of instilling into others equality, just in general, and being able to raise awareness. And drive for equity for all. I'm a huge advocate for that entire piece, and I think that there's a lot in the world that we should be doing. So if I can leave the world having a legacy of being known for doing good, then I'd be happy with that.
Well, Penny?
I suppose there's two sides to my story, and that is one of my legacy with work. And I would like to say, or like to think, that I've led with integrity, always. And then my personal world, my girls are my legacy. And I always say to them, lead with a smile and be kind. And it's as simple as that.
Oh, beautiful. See, not technical at all, was it? Good. So quick fire, last one. Best piece of tech ever invented, in your opinion?
Best piece, or can't I invent my own?
Either or, go.
Right. I've been thinking about this a lot.
You heard it here first. We'll be distributing this.
No, I think I might get arrested. So, okay, so I don't have any time, and my passion and love are clothes. Love clothes, should have been in the fashion industry, didn't pay enough. But anyway, love them. So I'm traveling all the time and I'm seeing people, I'm thinking, oh my God, I love those boots, I love them. So I'm getting my phone and I'm like taking pictures randomly. Then people, I think I'm some raving stalker. So I think there's privacy laws that might stop this, but an app that could, whenever I'm seeing it, I'm going to go, take a picture. Oh God, get it from there. Zip, yeah, I can buy it. Done. But I think it's not going to go, it's not possible, is it? Maybe. Does it exist? No, it doesn't. I've tried it. It doesn't work. You know, like when you get that app with a plant and you're in a garden and you go, oh, yeah, lovely plant. Let me take a picture. It doesn't work. Well, not for me.
So you're saying you need a technology that works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Though I am a bit of a Luddite, so it could be user error. But, hey.
Love it.
That's me.
No best technology piece that's worked for you.
God.
Hairdryer, anything, straighteners. Works.
It's my phone, isn't it? My phone is my, it's like a shoe.
So it's a surgically removed phone from said woman, Rachel.
Yeah,
That's your job.
we can't, can we? No.
I'm going to be really boring and say my air fryer. That's it.
I don't have an air fryer.
You know,
Can I just ask who has an air fryer? Because on Instagram, everyone's doing everything on an air fryer.
air fryer, absolutely amazing.
Big advocate for
Absolutely
technology,
amazing.
yeah.
Any
I
day.
buy one.
Yeah, you need one. Yeah, I'll send you a
Send
link.
me a link.
Yeah.
There was somebody else. They were all talking about air fryer. I deal with it. I don't. I've got a microwave. I've got a ceramic hob. Put stuff on top of.
Yeah.
Space. That's how you do it. And then everyone talked about air fryer. I went, sorry. I literally got that little thing. Got mine with an air fryer from Amazon. That was probably 7 months ago. Right.
It's just
Absolutely. I agree with that. It is life changing.
Does anyone sell air fryers here?
We now
Amazon.
distribute them. Do you know, going back to Colin's point on the Sinclair thing, though, an air fryer is a little oven. That's all it is. It's a little fan with the heat. Come on, guys, break it down. Anyway, yeah, it was brilliant. I love it. I love the ease of use. Hayley.
Well, I mean, I'm coming back to Colin's slide from earlier, so I can't live without a calculator these days. The maths homework that my kids get is ridiculous. So yeah, I'm going to say calculator.
Love it. Guys, I'm going to wrap that up because we are short on time and everyone's got to get taxis and it's going to take about 2 hours probably to take us all places. So thank you very much to our wonderful panel guests here. And thank you all for coming today. Just to say, I'm very proud of our wonderful Distology team, which is fast growing and fabulous. And I'm loving these events back in person, I have to say. And I'm hopeful that you all are. Again, back to that human connection. I don't think we could do that quite as well virtually. We couldn't make all the cock-ups that we make and laugh about them. We'd all be going off screen, off camera. So thank you. Safe journeys wherever you go. Some of you coming to CRN Awards, please clap when our names announced when we don't win, if that's all right. Brilliant. Thank you all. You can now be free to get drinks and network. Thank you very much. Oh, did you want to tie up?